Yo, what is up, guys? We are here with our first YouTube coaching session, and we'll be coaching someone from EU West. He is Diamond 4 Jungle slash Ivern main, and yeah, we'll get into his OP.GG. We will do some VOD reviews, and at the end of it, we'll make a little notepad explaining the stuff he needs to work on, improve, and hopefully some of you guys could take this information and improve your Ivern gameplay as well, or jungle knowledge or macro. So I'm undeafen here, and then we can get right into the replay. Okay, Pog, we're ready. So let's go straight into it and talk about your goals. So you're currently Diamond 4. What's your peak so far?
So like yesterday or the day before that, I was D3 50 LP. That's basically the highest rank I've ever been.
Okay, and your goal rank for at least maybe season 11 or season 12?
I'd like to get some masters.
Masters season 11?
Yeah, season 11. Yeah.
And when you're actually climbing to next season, are you just going to mostly play Ivern, kind of just play have a wide variety of jungle pools, or like stick to 2 or 3 characters sort of idea?
We'll see. I think like 2 or 3 champions fits me best, just because playing one champ all the time is not so interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say usually the best is 2 characters for at least for jungle. It's possibly 3. Usually I say 3 just because a lot of people who typically play like AD characters will usually have 2 ADs, 1 AP, or like 2 AP, 1 AD. So I see you play Elise, Nunu, Ivern, so you could kind of pick maybe like 2 AP or like 1 AP, 1 tank, and then 1 AD or something. Just so you have kind of a wide pool, so you don't get crushed in a full AP or like a non-good team comp for like Ivern or Nunu or something.
Yeah, I'm going off the Elise pick a bit, to be honest, just because I find Elise as a champion just really has no end game. So unless you snowball really well early, which I think is quite inconsistent, then I think Elise is good if you're like a god, mechanical god on Elise, but
Elise is actually like the 1 AP jungler right now who's like really good. But like the problem for Elise is if you don't have like the perfect level like early game, and you perfectly can't close the game with also trusting your teammates, you kind of just lose the game because Elise is like on a ticking time bomb. And like in solo queue, especially in like Diamond, like you can't trust your team half the time. And like you could get your lanes ahead early, but then like still lose the game. So.
But the nice thing about Ivern is he's kind of strong at all points of the game, and he scales really well.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I like him.
Okay, let's before we get into game, I'm gonna talk about OP.GG. So the one thing, so you're first we'll go runes. Runes, you run pre-standard runes, Airy, Nimbus, Transcendence. I think you should also go into water walking. But then also your boot choice, you usually go Mobies, or is that a trend you recently been doing?
Usually Mobies, yeah. The only time I would go another boots is if I'm recalling and I can't afford Mobies. I might go CDR boots, but yeah, I like Mobies just for this move speed.
Mobies is not bad just because like you can catch people from like going lane to lane with ganks and just like cheesing people. But the higher rank you go, the less that's going to work because people predict your like spam ganks with Mobies and actually like ward, and then the Mobies kind of lose value in the sense of gold. Whereas if you go Ionian boots, you get the early ability haste for utility. And the most important thing about Ionian boots is you get Summoner Spell CDR. So if you go Ionian boots and Cosmic Insight, you get double Summoner Spell CDR, which double downs on your smite cooldown. And for a champion like Ivern, who's extremely dependent on smites to either claim your camps or counter juggle, is very, very vital for Ivern. So that's why I usually recommend going Ionian, just for the double smite CDR. So if you are ganking top lane and Nunu gank spot, the only way you're getting his Raptors or red is with smite, because chances are if you wait like 30 seconds, he'll most likely be there already, and you won't be able to contest him, right? And then another thing too, on why Ionian's better, is because in combat movement speed. Because with Ivern, with your E slow and your W increased auto attacks, you basically play early mid game almost like a support AP carry because you constantly want to be every single fight. You always want to be dishing out autos with your Aerie and bush autos, right? And with Ionian Boots, it lets you actually create space between you and your opponent with the fly movement speed. Whereas Mobies, you lose half that speed, which it ends up being harder to create space, especially in this meta where a lot of champions have gap closers, high movement speed from like new items and etc. So that's kind of the reason why to say you should go Ionian.
Okay,
But
sure.
Mobies
Do you
is
go Ionian pretty much every game then, or
yeah. I think I go Ionian almost like 90% of the games. The like 1% I'll go Mobies is if they have if I have really good setup from most of my laners, or if they have like hyper scaling laners and I know I have to kind of like get the tempo rolling for the early game. So for example, if they have like a Vayne and Kale on the same team, right? I don't want to get into late game as Ivern because no matter what, Vayne Kale will kill my team. So I want to go Mobies and spam gank that, right? So I think every once in a while you should go Mobies, but for majority of the time, Ionian's just straight up better.
Okay.
And then also that plays into water walking because, of course, if you're going Mobies, Gathering's better because you don't really use the water walking. But if you have Ionian, water walking's better because it's just doubled down on the in combat moon speed as well to kind of the river.
Sure.
Other than
what
that,
do you think
though,
about Hex Splash?
Hex Flash is not bad, but I think in this season, especially since items are more money and your income's really inconsistent, I really like Futures and Cosmic Insight. I think last season Hex Slash Nimbus was a little bit better just because you had cheaper items like Athenes and more valuable items like Ardent that gave you a CDR. Whereas this season Ardent doesn't give Moon Speed or Ability Haste. Moonstone, which is the Athene's replacement, is like 500 gold more or something like that, or 700. It's way more than Athene's, so I think Futures is definitely way better, but you can still rock Hex Flash Nimbus, I think, if you feel like it, but I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
And then I also don't think Imperial's that good. I think the two base builds for Ivern right now is either Cosmic Drive into full AP, or Cosmic Drive into Moonstone and then support, or just rushing Moonstone and then going like Staff Redemption or whatever.
Okay.
Just because
I've seen that you've been building Cosmic Drive a lot. I've not really experimented with it that much, but yeah, maybe I will.
Yeah,
like,
I think
I've been going Mandate every game just because I feel like the potential damage of it is so good. Like, if you get the slow on 5 people and then it gets popped, it's like 1,000 damage or something. But
I think Mandate's a really good item, but also like
go on.
I was gonna say a lot of support mid laners in the meta right now are building Mandate, so usually double Mandate's not good. And then also like Mandate falls off pretty hard for Ivern because early mid game Ivern can like nuke people off Mandate, you deal a lot of damage, but then the longer the game goes on, you kind of fall off, and you kind of want to be more of a support champion. And that's the reason why I go Cosmic Drive and then Moonstone most of my games. Because Cosmic Drive, I immediately hit 30 ability haste, I get 75 AP, and I get 200 HP. And then also Cosmic Drive with Ionian Boots. Basically, I just give extra moon speed on top of that to kite and position and dish out damage constantly in fights. And then after Cosmic Drive, I can still go Moonstone, which will put me at like almost like 70 or 80 ability haste. So I have like almost 50%, or no, I think it's like 42 or 43% for CDR. And then I still have a lot of healing from Moonstone. And then from there I can transition to either Staff or Redemption, and then either or the same thing, or Ardent.
Makes sense, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely test out the Cosmic Drive a bit more then.
Yeah, I think it's and they buffed it this patch too. They increased the AP, so I think it's just definitely a extremely strong item. But if you're behind on Ivern, I think you just skip Cosmic Drive, and then you just go Moonstone, Redemption, and then like Staff and Ardent. Moonstone, Staff and Redemption combo is really, really strong because like a mini Shurelia's with a heal, so it's really good for when you're trying to kite away or engage. You can just drop Redemption for healing, and on top of that, Moon Speed as a disengage or engage as well.
Oh right, I hadn't realized that procs the move speed buff.
Yeah, so it's extremely good, and then also Moonstone just dish out healing with Staff and Ardent can be really impactful in fights. Okay, let's we'll start the 2-3-24 game.
Is that the most recent one I played?
There's two. So there's one defeat and victory. I was gonna start the victory first. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll share a screen in a sec here. Okay, that should work.
Yep.
Cool. So, what's your game plan this game?
So the problem in this game is the Elise and the Talon will basically create chaos if we don't shut them down, I think. So I think my game plan was to try and not die to Elise. That's step one, because I will outscale Elise. And then put pressure on Talon just so we can't roam freely.
Yep.
And then I'm thinking like top lane is just safe. I can leave top lane probably till level 6. And
okay,
then,
that's pretty fair.
We've got a losing bot lane early, I think, just because Ali Lucian is so strong early. So
yeah.
I probably don't have bot fire for Dragon or anything. So yeah.
Okay, that's pretty accurate. You definitely mid lane's the lane you want to play on early, just because TF into Talon with Talon didn't take cleanse, so he's very susceptible to ganks early game. And then shutting down Talon early obviously denies him from roaming with Elise and taking over the map through tower dives constantly on side lanes, right? So mid lane's definitely a spot you want to shut down. And then another thing is that anytime you're against like a champions who, like example Elise, every Elise player in like even like competitive and like solo queue, Elise's game plan is to get level 3 and then look for a tower dive, and like that's her way of getting into the game and carrying, right? So knowing where she starts level 1 and knowing where she's pathing is very vital, because then you can either vertical that or counter jungle that or counter gank that.
Yeah, since I play Elise a lot, I had a good idea in mind of what I would do if I was playing her. So
yeah.
So let me just mention my jungle route, which I basically do the same route all the time, and I make some variations to it based on what's happening. But I'll tap wolves, blue, Grump, and then smite red, tap wraiths.
Also, I'll say this is also a really good ward. Usually, warring here is better, but since Elise will usually never invade pre 3, so this ward's really good since she'll start here.
Yeah, I usually try and do this and then recall and get red trinket and come back. And yeah, I like to tap the blue side jungle and then smite red. And after I smite red, I normally look and see like where can I go after that. But
yeah,
I'll pretty much 100% of the time start like this.
Yeah, and for people watching, this is like the most efficient Ivern clear, and you should be doing this every game. Like you save a lot of time and clear your camps efficiently. Also, you shouldn't hit that blast con. Feels bad. You should save that blast con so you can tap wolves and blue at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've seen you do that once or twice, although I'm not exactly sure how you do it. But
yeah, so basically, I'll get to that after. Actually, that's fine.
Don't start fights, Brambleback. You know me, Raptor.
So I smite this, and I think I'm looking mid to see if I can do anything there.
Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, okay.
And this is really sad because I think I could have shielded the.
Yeah, you could have flash shielded, but it's not the worst. You trade 1 for 1, but you definitely could have flash shield and saved him. But you should kind of know. So we know Elise started blue because you ward this. So most likely she'll go blue, Gromp, red. Well, we actually can see through the minimap, but this is like standard level 3 clear. So and then mid just died. Mid still has flash, and top's pushed in. So Elise will probably either full clear, wait for crab, or go for a lane gank top lane. Or does she invade here? Oh no, he's not there. Never mind.
I don't know how that missed.
Alright, I've done that like a million times.
Definitely bug.
Probably shouldn't recall here, just because, like I said earlier, like Elise will be playing for this crab here, so you probably want to hover shadow your top lane and make sure he doesn't die to a gank. Then again, though, Elise can also clear like Krugs or Raptors, and then try and match you here. But most likely, she'll go for gank here. And it's just better to like shadow your laners, because like if you deny Elise, you basically just win the game, right? Because like your goal doesn't matter. If you stop her from snowball and getting kills, you just outscale her so hard.
Sure.
Also, you should value boots over Ruby and Fairy Charm level 1.
Okay.
Because you can.
I guess I took the crystal just because I'm worried about getting one bangs by Elise or Talon.
Because how much gold did you have? Because you could have just bought boots, Dark Seal, and a pink ward. That would have been way more better.
Okay.
The ideal Iron backs are either CDR boots and a pink ward, boots and a Dark Seal and a pink, or if you can get all 3, that's really good too.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. This gank probably could have been, this could have been a winning 2v2 top lane. But that's not the end of the world, because now you can get bot pressure and probably take her Wolves or Gromp. But now you know she's top, she has 12 CS, so now you can assume she's on Crab. And then she can either look mid or reset. So you have a lot of time to go for Crab and invade or gank bot. But like, I think it's very vital to look for shadow lanes on Ivern, especially against early game junglers. Like, if you just sit like in these, if you sit in lane here and wait for Elise to gank, Volibear dies and Set probably lives, or you could trade Set for Elise and trade a 1 for 2.
Okay. I guess I didn't just because I was worried she would catch me and river. Tell me.
No, I meant like because after you tap your Gromp, I was thinking of just walking through here and then just sitting in here, and then if she does not show after a couple seconds, you can just reset. But she ends up showing, it just like you basically like loses the game from that.
Okay.
Because like if Elise dies on her level 3, it's so hard for her to get back into the game.
Yeah.
Also here you should probably look for invade and take one of her camps, because you know she's did Crab and she's probably on reset still. At least like earlier, like before you even tapped before you even took the Crab.
Do you think I would have? Should I not smite Crab then? Should I?
No, yeah. You just tap Crab. Yeah. So you just tap Crab and then run straight. Obviously through spectating, we know where Gromp's down, but like you should check Gromp and Wolves, and if one of them are, which Wolves are up, you could just smite that, and then by the time you do all that, the Crab should be almost done cooked. And then also you have mid-prile, so you're not too worried about her contesting you here.
Okay.
Wow, that. Okay. Nice. That should be a free kill. Also, another thing too for Ivern, if you're ever buying pink wards for jungle tracking, always drop the pink either in this brush or this brush, because those 2 brushes will give you a lot of information on where they are, and they can also keep track of their farm and know what camps they have taken or not taken.
Okay.
And so someone like Elise, who you want to kind of keep track and know where she's going to set up for a dive or a gank, that's very important. Yeah, it's not terrible. Your camps are down, so doing this is fine. It gives a little more breathing room for your bot lane. But your Wolf Gromp is fine, so you definitely want to tap that. At least making the play. It's a good counter game. You might be dead though. Ooh.
I should not have
yeah, that's fine. I think it's... Yeah, you guys are fine. The big thing is TF not dying there. Like, it sucks that TF had to flash. Oh wait, do you guys die though? Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, this is really good. Yeah, nice, yeah. That was actually really good. But, like, the biggest thing to take away is the reason why, like, again, like I said earlier, the kind of similar to the top lane thing. It's not about even like counter ganking. So, like, do you know the difference between counter ganking and shadowing, right?
No.
Okay, so basically, there's 3 different ways ganks work. So there's ganking where the jungler will gank a lane. And then counter ganking is when the jungler is ganking, but then you counter it and you end up taking 2v2 and winning because you counter ganked it, right? And then the third one is shadowing, where it's where I explained the top line, where you know someone's gonna gank, so you shadow you basically stand their shadow. Why it's called shadowing? And so, example, you could like sit in this bush and wait for Elise to gank. But the point of shadowing is not to actually win the 2v2. The point of shadowing is to make sure your laner doesn't die. And that's like the whole. That's what Ivern's like king at. That's his like niche. Ivern's whole goal is to basically make sure enemy junglers doesn't kill people with your shields, and you just disengage. Now, of course, you could turn a shadow gank to a counter gank if Elise obviously overextends for the gank, and then you can punish her. But the main goal is just to make sure your laner doesn't die.
Okay.
Well, of course, if the jungler is greedy and like say if Elise repels in, flashes in or whatever, then obviously she's vulnerable and you can just kill her. So that was really good. Elise died for that, so she's pretty behind. Okay, this is a pretty good trade. TF gets the kill. Oh, and Alistar got Nami. That's actually really worth. All the gold went to Alistar, whereas TF got triple from that.
Yeah. So here I'm looking at top.
Okay,
a minute ends,
that's
so
really good. Yeah.
I think I'm tapping wolves.
Yeah, you can look to tap and reset. You want tier 2 boots. You have enough, so. We see TP, Alistar. You try and run there. Okay, he lows. Nice. Also, usually when you do that, because the problem with this, by the way, is from tapping this and smiting this, these camps will have different spawn timers, which will make it really hard to clear them the next time around. It makes it pretty inefficient. So usually on Ivern, the best thing to do is tap these two, run to Raptors, and then tap Smite Raptors. So then these are cooking, and then when you come out of base, you can pick up these two. So these two are the same timers, and then this can just be whenever. Because then you always want to tap these two usually at the same time. The only time you want to Smite Gromp is if you want the double healing to look for a gank. Or if you like need the exact gold for an item. Otherwise, it's better to have your camps cleared at the same time.
The only reason that I smited it is because I was on 2 smite stacks and I haven't got my jungle item charged yet, so I just wanted to use the smite.
Yeah, that's why I said you should go for the smite on this and then tap these two, or tap these two then smite this. And then also you Covenant for Crab I think is risky since Alistar was right here, and then Elise was probably on Raptor, so that Crab's probably gone.
Yep.
Yeah, he shows mid. Okay, so Elise is bot, so which means she did Grom. Probably Wolves. She has 28 CS. So you could go for Crab. You should save Smite Raptors then. Hey, my man. Also then, yeah, I talked about pinks. You should definitely place this pink right here, because then since Alistar has Mobies and he wants to roam, plus Elise now, this pink warrior will catch Alistar roams and then Elise transitioning from Krugs to Raptors or gank top.
Okay, I barely ever ward that bush, to be honest.
Yeah, this is the sleeper brush, because like even in like challenger games, people won't check this bush, and you get so much information from this bush, because anytime they walk past you, you know they're in this area, and that opens you up to so much on the map for Ivern. And honestly, any jungler too, like it's so good. He's level 5. Oh, he's level 3. He can just kill him here. Okay, nice. He might be dead though. Ooh, it's tragic. Okay, good sidestep. There's fruit there. You can get fruit and turn that. Damn, you probably kill him if you actually kite with autos and grab the fruit while Nami is chasing. Also, that Q is unlucky. So like
I could have gone the plant. Yeah.
Yeah, because right here he just uses cooldowns on you and he hops over, so you can immediately run to the plant, get the fruit, and then Nami's still coming in, which means you grab the fruit, you Nami turn, then just kill him. And then your shield, and you also waste shield here, which is very kind of bad, because then now you have to wait a whole 10 seconds for E to come back up again. Whereas if you just grab the fruit and then walk at him in E auto with bush, you just kill him. That's kind of a mechanical misplay, but it's not terrible. Oh, he does get talent shut or TF shut down though. This might be a little risky since Elise just took dragon.
Yeah, you don't say.
Oh, okay. I was like, just about to say, you're crazy for going for your red there. Yeah,
yeah, that was just greedy.
Yeah. Another thing too is you could just W'd this to see if she was in there instead of W'ing this. I understand this W though, because I've done this a lot of times where you just want to W so they can't see you. But like she took dragon a while ago, so it's safe to assume she's probably already in this bush. Damn, it's unlucky. So the main thing here is now though, you guys are behind, but your solos are still pretty strong, so you kind of gotta leave your bot lane on the island and just try and get Sen TF fed. And then once you get them fed, you could kind of make plays and dives bot lane into the mid game, and then snowball your bot lane through your fed solo laners. So like Set's TP is halfway up, so on Set's next TP and TF ult, you should try and get some kills and then try and look for a play bot lane. And then next dragon should be up. Doesn't even tell me through here. No, it doesn't. Was dragon slain? 7:26. So yeah, by that time dragon will be spawning soon, and that's the ocean. It's pretty big for you guys. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Jesus.
Yeah, it's AD. Yeah.
Oh, it's AD. Damn.
It's working
Okay.
well.
Yeah, I actually seen people do that. It's actually not bad right now.
So when I play Ivern, I sometimes have the problem like I'm always on one side of the map. Because like maybe top side, I gank top side, then I'm tapping my camps, then I'm going back top side again, and meanwhile the other side of the map is just getting fucked.
Yeah.
So I find it quite difficult to kind of get across the entire map efficiently sometimes.
Well, like the big thing is because like Ivern obviously no matter every game, the reason why Ivern's bad is because Krugs don't give you gold, so every game you're kind of forced to play around your blue side. But since camps have a decent respawn time now, you can just tap these two, try and gank top, and then you can either reset or immediately you run straight bot. And at times it may sound really inefficient from running across the map just for a gank or hovering or shadowing, but it usually ends up paying off because if the enemy jungler knows you're playing top mid, they'll most likely try and vertical you, and they will try and cut you off and basically just assume, oh, Ivern's gonna be staying here freely to either dive or gank this. But then if you walk across the map just for this play and counter her play, you can basically get a huge lead off that. And a good example from this was, I think it was 2 weeks before the season ended, I was versing Tarzan on Italy, and I was playing Ivern, and he invaded my, he went blue or red, so he assumed that I was going to go for his red, right? And I would vertical him, right? Which would make sense. That's what people usually do in high elo. If he's taking my red, it's safe to assume I'm going to be taking his red. But to counter that, I cleared these 3 camps, got level 3, walked from Gromp all the way to bot lane here, walked down the lane, and stood right in this bush and waited for him to make a play at Krugs or bot lane, which he did, assuming I was on red, and we ended up getting a triple kill and won the game off that. Or at least like snowballed really hard from it.
Oh wow, that's smart.
So it's doing the most, so like, what's the word? I guess like playing around not your win condition, but playing around the enemy's game plan. Yeah. Which is very important on Ivern, just because, of course, like I said earlier, you're really good at counter ganking. You're good at shutting down other junglers with your shield. So, whereas like most junglers will assume they're just playing to their game plan, but if you play to theirs, you can just win off that. Of course, unless you obviously like win the 3, lose the 3v3 really hard, but usually early mid game, Ivern wins most 2v2s or 3v3s just because shield negates most enemy jungler's damage, and then the enemy jungler can't really do anything, right? Like if Elise uses her full rotation, she can't really do anything for the next like 10 seconds, or like even like her Kugun's like what 16 seconds rank 1. She can't do anything for a long time basically, so which lets you still deal damage with your W and autos.
So you said Krugs is not very good. So do you generally play around the top side of the map?
It kind of depends. Like, say if I like, say if I'm blue side, right, and I have a winning bot lane, I will tap these two, hover top mid until these camps are cooked, pick up these camps, and then I'll go run and play bot side. But generally, it's usually easier to play to the side that your blue buff's on. So if on blue side, your Gromp Wolves are on this side, so playing solo lanes are easier, whereas if you're on red side, playing to mid bot's easier, right? But of course, if your win condition's obviously a lane that's way on the other side of the map, then you kind of gotta sacrifice some of your golden movement to play to that lane. But this game, you want to play to set TF, get them fed, and then use that gold to snowball Jhin.
Forest protect the gold.
So that was pretty good. Free ref, at least he said. Dragon should be up in like what, 2 minutes? I think so.
Let me take a quick look outside and see if there's any. Go take a look upstairs. I'll meet you upstairs. Over here?
Okay, that's fine. You can probably reset. Drake spawning.
So I'm spam pinging Nami to not get killed by Elise, but I think she still dies.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Cause, yeah, she's probably just sitting there. It's honestly fine. You guys could just get Drake and you could rift top or mid.
Yep.
Oh wait, Zed has rift. I didn't even see that. I guess you can just rift top and get plates.
Do you think Dragon's better early or is Rift better?
I usually, most of the times, I will usually give the first 2 drags for the first 2 rifts. Just cause if Ivern gets ahead with gold on his team, you kind of just force fights and just win every team fight. So then the first 2 drags are kind of irrelevant. But if you can actually contest the drags pretty easily and just get them with your team, and your team has prio, then it's pretty nice because then you could just rush soul. But I think most of the time just trading rift for drag for the first 2 is pretty free.
Okay.
Because then, yeah, you just get a shit ton of gold, and then you just kind of force bad fights that you normally would lose, but you win because you're playing Ivern. That's kind of lucky. TF was bot, so you can't really port that far. That's not terrible though, just because you get the plates and tower from top lane. It does suck Lucian gets 2 kills, but that just gives you guys a big bounty to you guys can actually pick him off. Now you guys should be hard fighting next dragon here.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
You look just like my friend Daisy.
But I definitely feel like early game though, you could have tried to around like 8-10 minutes, you should have either looked for more lane ganks top lane, or either pressure mid or lane ganking bot. Especially since you have like Mobies, you have a lot of chances to kind of look for ganks. Okay, that's pretty huge. You guys could take a red buff. You guys can't really get much off that, which is pretty sad, but you get the gold and the pressure probably for next dragon. Oh wait, he's on a foul dilution, what the heck? This guy's trolling.
Lethality Illusion and ADTF, you saw it here first.
Also, yeah, you should be here contesting the red instead of just clearing waves as Ivern, because this Alicia have died for that. I mean, she still might die, but you guys are heavily split.
Yeah, this macro is not the greatest.
This is a fiesta.
I was thinking we can take top tower, but they've just
no. After that pick, you guys should have just got after that pick, you guys just get vision on this side, take red, and then reset, clear out lanes, and then look for Rift Herald. Because it's with the short death timers, you can't, and plus their wave clear, you can't really force this. So it's just better to, after that kill, get the camps, get vision, and then self rift, and then reset, clear lanes, and then since you have vision, you can either look for a pick and then start rift. Because that could have gone way worse. And you guys should have enough time to do rift and then dragon, I believe, if you guys rush it. If not, you guys can just fight drag. That's fire. Unless he dies. That's sad. Probably should have spawned Daisy to tank that, but because then you don't have to blow flash there, but that's fine.
Yeah, let's not talk about the Q.
That's why I didn't say the Q, but that too. Yeah, it's better to trade Daisy there than for Flash, because against their comp, if you have no Flash, you're probably just going to get one-shot by someone. You guys trade Dragon for Rift, which isn't terrible, but it's also third drag. But Zell's dead, so you can't really contest it anyway. You guys just have to hard group for the next drag. And plus, your guys' 5-5 is not bad right now, so you guys could just group and look for 5-5. And just use TF ult to peel Talon.
So TF is doing a really good job of getting fed in the side lanes. And
yeah,
I think in this game he ends up carrying us just because he's so farmed.
Yeah, he is 50 CS, he's level 12. I mean, that's... like, Saz no TP, so even just having 4 mid TF side and just letting TF poured in is also just really good too. But like, at least either 1-3-1 or 1-4, just because you guys can win fights pretty easily. Yeah, you guys can like just A around this game. You guys are so strong. No, this guy's crazy.
Pulling it off though.
Holy shit. A little bit overstayed, but it's fine. You guys can just regroup and force the Baron fight.
Mhm.
You guys have set TP too, so.
So I think this is a misplay because I thought it was only the Lucian, but
yeah.
then Talon's there too. So
Like I said earlier, from like the very start of set dying here, it was just long overstayed.
yeah,
And like I understand that like you saw TF and Nami kill Volibear, so you kind of just want to try and kill the Lucian. But like, making those plays when like Baron's up, someone's already dead is just pretty risky.
Mhm.
And on top of that, like, say if you did know Talon was there, and your team called for it, it's just better to walk away and just not sync with the ship.
Mhm.
Luckily though, they're not in really position to do Baron, so they don't really get anything off of it. It just kind of gives them free gold for no reason.
These kind of like fiesta plays happen a lot, to be honest, and you kind of get like hard flamed if you don't join in with them.
Where like people
But-
just fight over, like they just
Yeah.
died over nothing.
Why? But normally I'm quite good at just walking away if it's definitely not a good fight.
Yeah. I mean, the Fiesta just wasn't your favorite just now, because now you guys could just do Baron.
Yeah.
Set can either walk down or TP. They're both dead, and you can just turn if they engage. I feel like you guys should have started Baron there when they were dead and look for a turn. Stuff like that you should definitely call out with like pings and typing. Because like you guys could have easily done that. You also get this guy though, it's pretty good. Lucian's dead, Dragon's up, this should be free. TF's dead though, but he can pour it in if you guys just wait for him. You should definitely be on your Jhin to shield him. That was kind of int. Because you're alone in Dragon Pit just trying to hit Dragon instead of being with your team.
Yeah, I was just greening for the dragon, I think, just because I knew it was the last dragon and we had to get it. But yeah, in hindsight, I should probably be focused on the team fight.
Yeah, because Jhin lives there if you shield him, and then he could probably turn that. Thank God TF is super fed. That man can just one-shot anyone. Well, I guess you guys still get Drake, but yeah. Definitely seeing with your backlines, pretty important.
Live to finish your
Red team double kill.
Yeah, that was a good Q. Well, that's probably GG or Baron. Probably just Baron in the end.
Hmm.
Well played, matchmaker. Muscles on the ground. Run and hide.
Oh, that's GG. I mean, you played that game pretty good. The only thing was, I definitely think you could have, got at least from, like, less snowballing. Because, like, you shot her down level 3, but then she still got, like, kind of free kills from the sidelines. I feel like you definitely could have, prevented that just from, like, either counter ganking or shadowing, like, top and mid, or top and bottom. I also think of the TF lead, you guys should have just, you should have tried to force more from top lane. Because you could just, dive top lane with Daisy and TF ult a lot.
Yeah, I guess I need to work on tracking the enemy jungler better. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I didn't have a great conception of where Elise was most of the game.
And that's like another thing too, because like I don't know what's going on in your head during that game. So like I don't know how like often like a lot of times that game I was pointing out where Elise was, and then like a few seconds later Elise was there or was killing someone. So I don't know if like you are also aware of that in game or not, but that's definitely something that's very important. So I'm just gonna start writing some stuff down for notes. I think definitely jungle tracking, I assume. And like of course like every jungle is different, but you could kind of have like a safe assumption like every Elise will go buff, Gromp buff. Every Graves will usually just full clear or look for level 3 and like so on, right? But that also just comes with like playing the game. So like if you don't play the game that often, you won't know every jungler is like clear, right? So where like new news, they'll either look for level 2 or like look for level 3 then 4 and so on. Another thing too is playing around enemy jungle's game plan. Like for example, like you shot Elise down pretty good early, but then she got a couple of kills around mid game that I think you could have prevented. Another thing was counter ganking and shadowing laners. I guess Q accuracy too.
Yeah, some of my cues were not the greatest.
So that's the main things. I didn't really pay attention too much to your Daisy uses, but I feel like this in general, like just macro, and then obviously the only mechanical thing was important was hitting Qs at times. What else happened that game? We talked about itemization, so I won't include that. I feel like that's it. We'll see more next game, because next game is defeat, so there are probably more mechanical or macro errors.
Sure.
I don't know if you have anything else you think you want to add to this, or anything you want to talk about before we get into next game.
No, I think that's a good summary. Yeah. I guess you said I could have made more proactive ganks with the
Oh yeah,
boots.
that's what I forgot.
I guess it totally depends on the game situation, knowing when you can go for that. So
Yeah, I mean that game is pretty hard to make proactive ganks bot lane just because I believe your bot was 0-3 and Lucian was like 2-0 or something like that. So that game probably the only time you can make proxy ganks is through top lane. I think top lane is really gankable, especially with TF port. And like TF was ahead too.
This game actually has 2 of the same people from the last, or 3, because there's the same TF and
Pog.
top laner, and then AD carry.
30 seconds until minions.
And so I don't think Kha'Zix is such a big threat as Elise early on for Ivern.
Yeah,
Just
I agree.
because his level 3/4 is just not as strong.
Yeah, I was actually just
like,
explaining this.
killer.
I was explaining this yesterday on stream because I was playing Ivern to Kha'Zix in like D2, I think, and I basically level 1 invaded Kha'Zix and then took his red. He was still level 1. He went to his blue. I matched him as blue, killed him as blue, and then invaded him level 3. And people were like, "How do you beat Kha'Zix level 3 as Irons?" Because you're range and you can cut him with shield and Aerie W autos. So his early game is actually surprisingly weak. It's not until he gets like his first like item or component and ult to actually like deal damage.
Yeah.
He's definitely more mid game than early game compared to Kha'Zix. And like the thing with Kha'Zix too is most Kha'Zixes will full clear just because they know their early game's pretty weak and they just want to play for level 6 / mid game. Unless they see a cheeky level 3 gank, which means sometimes you could even that's the reason why I usually like to invade Kha'Zix, because they are weak early and then they usually end up do full clearing.
So what early game path would you take in this game?
I'd on red side it's kind of awkward, but like I guess I don't know, if I was on blue side I would obviously go for this ward, and if he does start blue then I could just take his red. Or level 1 invading is pretty nice in Kha'Zix, but probably not this game just because their level 1's way better, TF Morgana MF, so level 1 invades kind of off the chart for that. So you can just kind of clear, and then I guess this guy's actually on full clearing. That's really weird, but I would just go normal and like say let's assume he does full clear. We can't see this because that's what I would assume is that if he starts red, which we saw from bot leashing, we know he's probably gonna look for getting top or mid. So I would just full clear everything besides the Krugs, and then look for a shadow on top or mid.
Okay.
And then if nothing happens top or mid, just go for this crab.
Thank you, Blue.
First love.
Yeah, this is not bad. TF's way overextended. This should be really free. Damn, he died. Can't chase this because Kha'Zix is probably here. Or maybe not. Okay, wow. Really good. 1 for 1, lane's in
I don't
good
know if the
spot.
echoes saw me coming. Like if you just backed off, then I could probably have just killed TF and he lives. But
That kill is good, but it's also really, really risky because if you Q'd into that with Kha'Zix there, you probably just die. But luckily he was really late to that play, and you just get the free crab here.
Overrun the forest.
yeah,
Really huge.
Darius has
Cryo.
cryo, so I know we can go for it, and then
Yeah.
Kha'Zix is greedy.
This guy is drunk. Wow. Ooh.
And I flashed kind of late, which is sad because
Yeah, I was about to
If
say
I
you
just
should. Yeah,
go for it. I kill Echo. Sorry, I kill.
I kind of see you want to give Echo the kill, and you kind of assumed he had it, but I will just flash right away and made sure that Kha'Zix died.
Two thumbs and a shield.
I think I make that mistake too much, trying to give the laner the kill and then they die for it. Or the
Also-
other person gets away.
Since you know Kha'Zix dead, instead of covering this, you should immediately run and grab this crab, just so you could deny him. And like TS shoves the lane pretty slowly, so by the time Echo gets here, he only loses like 1 or 2 CS, but you guarantee this crab.
Okay.
Because chances are now, Kha'Zix respawn, he's probably like at Raptor's already, and he's already, like he's beelining for the crab, where you should have got it by now, and wasted his time. And it also just gives you vision too, which is nice.
protect us all.
Yeah, because you have nothing on this side of the map, and then this is also just really forced. Whereas if you get this crab, and then this just respawned, and this will respawn like 2 seconds later, which means you could smite crab, tap these two, recall, buy tier 2 boots, and then pick up these two, and then look for a gank on mid since he has no flash, or a gank on bot. Instead, you're kind of in this awkward spot now where your top side, you don't get to get any gold or camps. You have to recall, tap those, and now wait again, and it's just inefficient, right?
Yeah.
And like that is why playing to this side is important because of these camps, unless you obviously just pick them up and then you can look for a play like this.
Also, I guess dragon's coming up, and if I tap this, I kind of have to come back here at some point to get it. So yeah, it's just a big waste of time.
Danger is coming.
Oh, and you lose your Gromp too. That's really unlucky. He's on Dragon. You guys can probably... Oh, no, your bot died. Yeah, their bot's narrow thing, so you kind of bully him. Echo Zara's coming. Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean they get a lot of kills, but I die and we lose the dragon. So
yeah, and it also plays into the effect of doing this pathing, because he sees you just staying so top, so he knows he can take your Grom, get dragon, not be punished, right? Whereas if you since you know that's how from the start, you probably should have immediately ran here and just because once you already play to the side and you lose this side of the map, you can't really contest it because now you guys are behind. And instead of playing vertical and going for his Gromp and trading Gromps, you try to contest this, which ends up getting you and your teammates killed, and on top of that, losing Dragon and your camps.
So, in hindsight, do you think instead of contesting it, I just get wolves and go to his top jungle?
Yeah, because you have to concede, because you already... Once you decide to show here and concede crab, you concede this whole side of the map, right? So you're forced to play now to this since you already played to that. Because then you just try and brute for this when you guys don't win right now. Which is why, like I said, you should have gone for this crab, because then you get vision of here, and then you could kind of just... you basically have an imaginary line here where Kha'Zix can't really cross, and you could kind of just play to this side of the map. But then, since you went here, you let him take your Gromp, and then he could just force strike.
Yeah, so that bad pathing kind of changed the whole course of the game, like.
Well, that was pretty interfer. I guess he still could play on the side of the map if she dies like that. That's really good run by Echo too.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Quab, but TF kind of pushed. Maybe I should just run mid with them, but I want the Quab.
No, it's fine, yeah. Crab's important. You could tap these, pick up this, look for getting top lane, and then go pick up those. And you have a lot of vision here, so you're not too worried about losing these camps. Yeah, this should be pretty free. You have kind of pry on both lanes. Oh, damn. That's actually really unlucky. Oh, okay. Never mind. Use dice to the minions. And then also is saying, yeah, if you vertical, stay vertical unless you can get vision and win the fight. Like, if you do vertical, like, say if you want to break the vertical, so like, say when you did show up here and he was here, if you ever try, the rule of breaking vertical is you can break vertical only through, like, counter ganks or shadowing. You can't break vertical through forcing fights, because usually when you vertical, the other side that he's on will be the stronger side, and the side you're playing to is your stronger side, right? So when you showed top, you made Darius kind of your strong side, and you made bot your weak side, and bot died, right? Whereas Kha'Zix is playing this side, which means this is his strong side, and this is his weak side. So if you try and force a fight on your weak side, you'll lose the fight, which is why you lost Dragon, right? But you can break the vertical if you played counter ganks or shadowing. And like that's kind of how I explained it earlier with Nelly versus, Tarzan's Nelly versus Ivern. Whereas if I tried to force a fight with Ivern, we will have lost the game. We will have lost that fight because my bot lane was the weak side, right? But since I played to shadow and counter gank and hover my laners, I let them play into me, which will work because then they're overextending and they don't expect me there.
Yeah, that's a really nice way of thinking about the game, I think.
Yeah. And like that works. That play of like breaking vertically is almost Ivern exclusive because Ivern can shield allies and save them, right? So, but it's just kind of a good way to understand is you can't force it. You have to let them play into you. Because then, if you force the fight when you're weak, then they will just kill you guys. That's actually surprisingly worked on your favor. You blew 2 flashes and TF ult. And this guy gets killed? Okay. That's really good. Well, Echo has 6 kills, so you could kind of just perma-play mid now. Try and kill TF, and then you could make plays through side lanes.
No leaf races now.
Here, I kind of regret going bot because I was looking at it and I thought they're safe, but then they end up dying. If I just go and I wait in the bush, then I could probably change it.
Wait, I missed what happened. Oh, Kha'Zix is there. I mean, that's hard to say because, like, I don't know, you're trying to tap your camp, so. This should be free though. It's a good roam. Alright, that's good. Dragon spawning soon, so probably want to tap your camps and look for reset, and then play for Dragon.
Use this gift well. Bye, Daisy. Sometimes I need to treat myself.
Ooh, that was early spike.
Yeah, this was really a shame. Like, I kind of wish Zyra would just use the plants straight away so we do the dragon faster.
Yeah,
I guess he was holding them for a fight, but I fucked up the smite, so.
Another thing too is before you even started the dragon, I was saying you should tap your camps, reset, and then look for dragon. Only because you're sitting on 3k gold, my guy. You should have definitely looked. you're sitting on 3k gold, and then Zyra's sitting on 2k gold. I think MF or Samira just bought items actually. So like everyone was sitting on a lot of gold, and that's the reason why I say you guys should reset and then look for Dragon.
Yeah.
Is because their team just spent their gold. Kha'Zix just spent his gold. They all spent their money. He has Kraken Slayer, like, whereas you guys are sitting on your gold, so you guys don't win the fight, and then you're forcing Dragon when everyone's alive, which is also really bad. Because then if they just fight with their item advantage, they're just gonna win. And like even if you do get the Dragon, it's not worth dying like 2 or 3 people just for the Drake.
Greeting for dragons. Add that to the list.
Yeah, because you definitely should just be more patient.
Don't stay long, boy. Bring it. May you rest.
It's still fine though, you guys are still relatively even. It's just that you guys should have been ahead this game. Just small misplays. Yeah, that could be a double or at least one. That's fine. Actually, Echo's here, this is free. You should have definitely... Daisy definitely could have gotten the E off there. On the Q. Damn, he actually doesn't die because he don't use Daisy properly there.
Yeah, I think I was trying to just push the wave in before we dived, but
No, with Daisy you can just force. Like a lot of times when I get Daisy, I usually just try and force tower dives because Daisy can tank for so long, and especially with the shield and knockup. So like right here, like you shouldn't cancel Daisy to walk back. You should let Daisy keep chasing and just drop E on her and just follow her. And just juggle aggro between you and Daisy and stall for Echo. Because then, by then, your E will have slowed him, he will have been also knockup range, and the Echo could just slid in for the kill.
yeah, this was definitely a misplay.
Because then now, you're just, Daisy's tanking, you don't have E, so right now you're not offering nothing to this dive right now. Also, you should be more patient with your Q. Like, there's no punishment if you like hold on to your Q for a little bit longer, instead of just throwing it right away and missing it. Okay, well, this guy's trolling. Okay, it's pretty good. I go TP. Damn, you guys win that if you don't walk into him like that. And it's like another reason why I like CDR boots there too, because then that fight, that position would have been easier with flying boon speed. This is just you kind of just walked into him.
Also, I walked directly away, but I could have walked sideways, I guess.
Yeah. Because what you could have done is just like kite in a circle around your autos. So if you're staying right here and he's like right where this is, instead of walking like staying there walking towards, you just walk to the sides and just kite around him and kite in a circle. Because like the way he kites, like this is like kind of ADC, but like this bleeds into Ivern's kit, is just kiting around your auto attacks. So if he's staying right here, kite upward down around him and just keep autoing him. Because like right here, you can just place the bush and start autoing him and keeping out of Z range. But instead you smite him and just run at him.
You don't play melee range Ivern?
Nah, not yet. I've never tried that one. Maybe one day.
I heard they're giving him a Darius ult next patch.
Ooh, Pog.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
I think it's a good point too. You gotta be very patient with your Q. Instead of just kind of throwing it. Because like...
the thing with the Q is, like, it's got a big hitbox and a long range, but it's slow. It's quite easy to dodge
yeah.
as a skill shot.
Which is why it's like... Because like Iron's Q, yeah, it's really slow and it's really easy to dodge, but like... Hitting the Q is so rewarding, and like... You literally win like so many more games just with like Q accuracy. Like... The spell is extremely strong.
I receive your power.
Do you know if there's a way to auto someone while they're in your Q without dragging yourself to them?
Yeah, there's a setting. I can actually show you after in a custom game.
Yeah,
I
that'd be good.
actually just put mine because I use X to auto attack, but then I use my A key to do the auto without taking the Q. So I'll show you
Right.
after because I don't know the actual name for it, but I just changed the settings like the other day.
Cool.
You know me, Brambleback. Hey, Krugs, how's the wife?
Actually, another thing I want to add from last game was clearing Gromp and rules similar respawn time. It's just like a good thing to keep in mind.
Shut down.
So here, because we lost Echo, I'm thinking like there's no way we can contest Dragon. So I was gonna reset and go to Dragon, but now I'm thinking I'll just take Herald because he's dead.
You should.
Although he does have TP
Yeah.
actually, so
I was about to say Darius is walking. Like Darius has no tower, so he should be walking down. And if Echo TP, like this is your guys' fight to like make a comeback in the game. Like Darius has an item, you have an items. Like everyone has their item spikes except like Samira. But like, if as long as MF doesn't get a huge R, you guys win this fight pretty easily.
like I was indecisive here, I think, because I was definitely thinking like I'll just trade Herald, but then they were all pinging like let's fight, so it's too late to get Dragon, but we fight anyway,
Yeah,
and I think we lose this fight.
yeah. I was just kind of lucky because Zyre died at the start, and then you guys were just heavily split. But I think if you guys were actually like grouped as 5-man, like around like here, or like probably grouped around here, so your bot lane can meet up with you guys, I think you guys could have contested. But a bit of a slight miscommunication and just bot getting caught. And then again too, it's like solo queue, so like if Dragon's already up and no one's ready to like make a player be in position, then yeah, you guys can just give it up because you guys aren't gonna communicate and like group up in that matter of seconds, right?
Yeah.
So you could have definitely just trade Rift for Dragon and it would have been fine. Instead, you guys kind of just all died. Like it's either you get group as 5 and contest, or you just give it up and do Rift.
So something I've been kind of thinking about is like trying to make the optimal play, and then even if the outcome was bad, if you made the right play, like it was the right decision, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like
Like
here, maybe we could have got a lot out of the Dragon fight, but I think taking Rift was just like a solid,
more safer, yeah, because
safe choice. Yeah.
like my rule of thumb, and like you see this a lot in like high elo or like competitives, like when Dragon's spawning, teams are there like a minute before it spawns, and they're setting a vision. Both teams are dancing, they're looking for picks, and like you guys were not even grouped when it spawned. So at that point, that window was like already shut down. Like you guys probably should not even went for that play, since Zyra. Well, one Zyra died. MF's here. You guys are here. The entire team's grouped here. So they are grouped while you guys are split, and then your player down, and then you're walking into a TF Morgana MF Kha'Zix set. Like all 5 of those champions, you can't really face check with your comp.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of doomed from the start. But on paper, like say if you guys were group and like were staying up, then you guys win. But since you weren't, Rift is definitely the optimal play here. Also, by the way, since you only had 2 bushes, you should probably just use 1 here, because that fight you had no bushes to empower your auto, so it was really awkward. Whereas if you have bush, TF would die a lot sooner.
Yeah.
So only use like the dull bushes here if they're like the minions are coming in, they're sieging. Otherwise, always save a bush so you can pop up to fight with. Alright, that's huge. And you guys get reft. I'm surprised you guys lose this game. You guys like have been in a good spot like all game, besides like so many throws.
Yeah.
Like you guys like had like you guys took like 5 bad fights in a row and you're still like even. Yeah, like imagine if you never took those bad fights, you guys would be so ahead.
Yeah.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, Darius Ivern is a pretty nasty combo.
It's a great combo, I know. My favorite combo to play actually is Ivern Vanguard top lane. I've played it like 5 games. I don't think I've lost any game with the Vanguard top.
Damn, yeah, it's pretty good. Same with Hecarim Ivern. Hecarim solo lane plus Ivern jungle is pretty nasty.
Really?
Oh, you might be dead though. Nice. Oh, then you should have. Actually, that's fine. Alright, another thing I want to add too is just microing Daisy and guaranteeing these. I guess the good thing is like all their gold's on MF and Kha'Zix, so if you guys can deal with them and avoid a big MF ult, you guys still win fights pretty hard. As long as Darius is getting peel, I think he can just take over the fights. Oh, but he died. That's probably soul then. Yeah, right now, like, here it's, like, really hard to carry the game because, like, as jungle, you impact, like, the map for the first, like, 15-20 minutes. After that, it's kind of more relying on your team, right? So, like, a lot of the bad fights you took and, like, plays you made kind of didn't really lead up to much of a lead. So now it's really, like, coin flip.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you guys didn't lose all those bad fights and, like, lost those kills and, like, objectives, you guys would be hard winning. But now it's, like, really hard to get back into the game. And on top of that, now they have Soul. Because, like, now the most you can do as Ivern is just shield Darius and, like, Echo. And, like, hope they're enough to carry the game.
Yeah. The Kha'Zix starts popping off now as well. It's just one-shotting everyone.
Yeah, plus he has Ocean Soul. So he's just healing.
Down, Raptors. Fly along now. Danger is nigh.
Yeah, that might be game. On pauses there.
Blue team double kill.
Do they send off that?
Turret has been
Watch
destroyed.
him.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Yeah, once they get Baron, there's kind of really no reason to fight. So you guys can just die again for no reason. Because like once they get Baron, you kind of just have to give that up and play for hope they agree and overextend either on this turret dive or this dive here. Yeah, it's probably GG. That's sad too, cause like that game was so easily winnable.
I know, right?
But like it's just so many,
Definitely had the potential.
so many macro misplays that game. I think I covered most of the points though. I don't know if you have any other things you think I should add on or things you want to talk about.
No, that's great. That's been really helpful. Thanks.
Hop onto my my login and I'll show you the setting for the mouse thing for the Q&A.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any other
I
like
do-
questions or?
Yeah, I want to ask one thing. Like, when you were ranking up to Challenger, what was the main thing that you did to improve? Like, do you rewatch your own games or watch other high level players' games or what?
I think the biggest thing, cause like like the thing for League is like every season there's usually like one set of junglers that are like usually dominant for one season, and then preseason hits, and then the jungle meta changes and new set of junglers are meta, right? So, but like in season 10, like the main junglers that people are playing were like Lilia, Graves by Permaban Graves. So it's like Lilia. Who else was popular? Nidalee, Lilia, Nidalee. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. I can't remember now, but basically like the biggest thing is keeping track of what junglers are meta and knowing their game plan and play style. Because then once you know that, you can every game basically adapt and play against what they're trying to do. So like for example, here I'll get into custom game first. So for example, if I was on red side, I was versing Lilia's. Almost every game the Lilia would always invade my Raptors, right? So every game I would take Raptors over the wall. And then that would fuck them over level 1.
You can take Raptors over the wall?
Only on red side, yeah.
Wait. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know, because the map's slight. Like a lot of people say they think the map's even, but it's slightly not, and that's the reason why I believe blue side is the higher win rate. So in solo queue, in ranked, red side has the higher elo players, like the higher MMR players, whereas blue side has the lower rank because blue side has the map advantage. But for Ivern, red side's actually the advantage for him, just because you can do Raptors over the wall. So if you're against someone like Lilia, you can just tap those Raptors and just deny her, because most Lilias will start Raptors level 1, or even Kane players. So you can counter that. So I'll share my screen, I'll show you some small things.
You could do Gromp over the wall, but I've never seen someone do...
You can do Gromp on both sides, but it's easier on blue, but on Raptors you can do both. So you can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show you the blast gun thing too. So like, say if I'm against Lilia, I'll ward this at like a minute in, just right here. So then I can see if she comes here, and then if she does go for it, I just stand here and just tap it. Because if I stand on the pit or over here, she'll Q and hit me, right? But if I stand right here, I can just tap it. The big one won't move, which means I'll be able to smite it, and then the other ones will die, and then she loses that camp. And I'll hit level 2.
I see.
And then, oh yeah, I'll show you the other part here. So then yeah, you just aim it, so yeah, you land there. And then you basically, as soon as you hit the blast cone, you Q the blue. Okay, I just
do it after...
I just didn't do it.
After you hit the blast cone or slightly before?
As soon as you hit. So as soon as you hit, you hit Q. I spawned it. I'm trolling. There you go. So yeah, just like that.
Nice.
And then yeah, you can tap Gromps of... Oh yeah, and then I'll show you the... Where's the other one? So where is it?
So this is Q and then auto attack without taking Q move.
It's here. So it's called player attack move click. So it's the second one. So I semize A. So I Q it and then A the ground, and I'll just auto. But you can't A the person, because if I have unlimited. So if I Q but then A the person, I'll take it. But if I Q and then auto the ground, Ivern will automatically attack the closest thing.
That's so helpful, because often I'm queuing someone and then I'm just standing there not wanting to auto because I'm gonna take the jump. But yeah, that seems really useful.
And then you can also Q, auto, and then Q after. So say if they're a couple hours away and you want auto and then take your Q, you can Q A twice and then Q again to take the Q. But if you just want auto, you just click A and then auto. I just auto right by my feet because I find it's easier. So yeah, you can definitely bind that to whatever button you prefer. But I still prefer to have attack move and then just use this situationally. Pog, nice. I think that'll wrap us up for this. Do you have any other questions or?
last question. What do you think of Ivern in this season? I know it's only preseason, but do you think he's good as meta or what?
Because like I don't know if you saw yesterday on Twitter, but yesterday they announced they're buffing him. They're buffing Ivern, they're buffing Moonstone and Mandate, they're nerfing tanks, and I think they're nerfing another class, but basically Ivern's getting 3 indirect buffs, and then on top of that he's getting a direct buff, so I think he'll definitely be like A tier. So I think he'll be...
Great.
Because like right now, I think he's actually good right now. I think the reason why his win rate is so low is because people build him wrong. People go inefficient items. I think Mandate's really bad, so I think people a lot of Iverns are buying Mandate too, and they're trying other items. I think definitely the play is Cosmic Drive Moonstone or just Moonstone support, and then yeah, I don't know. I think the buffs and everything will definitely make him a lot better, and then tanks are obviously a nice nerf because like the thing about tanks is their one weakness is getting invaded, and as Ivern you can't really shut down a Mumu or like Zac from farming, right? Like it's already hard to kill them because they're tanky, and then invading them is also just harder because they can fight you back. So you can't invade them like a Graves or Elise or Hecarim. So nerfing tanks is really really big for Ivern, and then getting double buffs is also another huge thing. So I think he'll be definitely extremely strong next patch. Of course, I don't even know what the buffs are. They could be something really small, but I think honestly any buff at this point is huge because I don't even think he needs a buff in the first place. I think all Ivern needed was support item changes, which they are doing, but he's getting both, so.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for this session.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
learned a lot. It's been great.
If you ever have any questions though, just hit me up. It was fun.
Yeah, will do.
Alright, see you, dude.
Have a good night.
Peace.